So we found Zoe. Are you ready to watch part two of Marley? Yep, that is your grandma. Okay, let's catch up here. In part one, we covered some of the origins of decorative painting, along with Marley's early roots and upbringing. In part two, we will discover some of the techniques she's been using for the past 40 years or so, and hear in her own words about what drives her and continues to inspire her work.
Decorative painting encompasses basically all of the. It's a folk art, and it encompasses all of the folk arts from all the different countries, mostly Europe, from Germany, Russia, Norway, Sweden. And if you look at them, you see similarities, but there you can also, once with the trained eye, can tell the difference between one country and the other. But they have all borrowed from each other. And the earliest probably folk painting was the Van Dutch painting in the United States in the early 1800s. Sure, there was more painting before that, but that's kind of, I think, the beginning of the renaissance of the folk painting.
She starts off by showing me some of the simple movements that are used in her style. And the first thing I notice is just how clean it is.
Yes, this is basically, as a decorative painter, the first thing that you should learn. And you lay your brush down with pressure, you pull it back, ease it up on its tippy toes, and let it just trail off. It looks easy. It's not so easy until you get the feel of it. Just about anything you want it to become. We're going to have here, we have a circle. And this is basically what it kind of comes down to, is stroke work. And there are a lot of blending techniques also. This one also is an S stroke. And you suddenly have a tulip. Put a little stem on it, another S stroke. And you have a leaf. And that basically, then of course you work with colors. I'm just working with one color here now for demonstration purposes. But these are the strokes that you would learn if you were taking a class.
The materials are so important in this art.
I'm using acrylics. Yes, it's actually a gouache.
I hear all the time from her students about just how much they enjoy her teachings and patience. These pieces take countless hours and great dexterity. Her devotion and passion for this art is almost a homage to her heritage and family. But what has always impressed me the most about my mom as an artist is the sense of freedom and serenity she has derived by living her calling as an artist.
So here I finished the back of all of my items.
So that's got a little blend to it.
Yeah, yes, I'm picking up the two colors on the brush at the same time.
So it almost creates a highlight as you're painting.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems so quick and clean. The edges seem so clean.
Yeah, well, that's the trick, is to learn to how to hold that brush, and a lot of it is the consistency of the paint. If the paint's too thick, you won't get a nice smooth edge on it. Decorative painters do rely on other people to draw their patterns from them. There are thousands of books out there to draw from, or to get the patterns from.
Let's watch as she creates with her fluid and concise style. She talks about her role as a teacher.
Teaching probably for over 30 years. I started taking classes at the adult school, San Lorenzo Adult School, in the early 70s. I opened a shop for a few years, and then after that, when I sold the shop, I started teaching at the San Lorenzo Adult School. So I taught there for 12 years, and then when I gave that up, I came back as a student. So I've gone full circle.
You have, yeah, you're learning all over again.
I'm always learning. There's always something new, and I'm currently taking classes from a very fine teacher in Newark, Carl Larson, and primarily just for the camaraderie, to stay connected. And we borrow from each other. We share, and it's a good group. It's a good thing to do. Paint for line work needs to be a really nice thin consistency, kind of inky, we'll usually say. If it's globby, then it just doesn't work. And we use a thick, thin pressure stroke so that that helps to make the brush move. And the looser you can remain, the better it is. Try to keep it loose, because you can always clean it up. Even though it's acrylic, it dries quickly, but if you come back quick enough with a clean Q-tip or something of that nature, it'll clean up real easy.
Thanks for taking the time to learn about decorative painting and getting to know my mom. It's amazing to realize just how many homes and kitchens her work has enriched. I consider my brothers and myself very lucky to have had this creative upbringing that our parents let us embrace. My mom was always so supportive if we chose a vocation or passion that flowed with our sense of creativity. I'm happy to say, after raising 5 boys during the 60s and 70s, the tide has turned and she's been blessed by so many granddaughters. Hey, and remember, just send me an email and I'll send you one of these American Artist Road Trip stickers for free. I did say free, right? Did I mention they were free? Oh, and don't tell the FDA, they can also be used as nicotine patches. Or you might want to become a pirate.